Now, if I ask you guys, what is the cheapest way to prevent a Hellcat from being stolen? A lot of you guys may say the cheapest way to do it is just remove the battery, right? Or just remove the computer from the car, get a kill switch and all that type of stuff. Well, if you voted to say remove the battery and move the computer from the car and that would stop your Hellcat from being stolen, I got some news for you. That doesn't help. Thieves will still be able to steal the car. I got a video to show you how thieves can steal a car without the battery and without the computer in the car. Also, I'm gonna talk about why you shouldn't rely on removing your battery to prevent your Hellcat from being stolen, because you're also putting yourself at a disadvantage for some things. Let's go ahead and get into the video. You see the title and you see the thumbnail. I'm not gonna waste your time. I'm gonna get right into the video and show you how thieves, if they really want to steal your Hellcat or Scat Pack or any kind of Mopar that you got, removing the battery and removing the doggone computer from the car isn't enough to stop thieves from making off with your car. And I laugh at it because these thieves are desperate and they will get your car stolen by any means necessary. Let me go ahead and show you this video. This is not actually an apartment complex or anything like that. This is actually a car lot. And you can see you have two Porsches, you have a Bentley, you have a Range Rover. I think that's like a Ford F-150, something in the background, a couple of those. And you can see the Hellcat up here in the corner by the Range Rover and blocked in by the Bentley. But you can see none of that matters. These thieves want this car, they gonna get it. Right to it, back window broken. Climbs in the car, of course. Now you hear the beeping in the background. That's not from this Charger. They actually stole a Chevy Corvette, and that's the beeping you hear in the background. So this car doesn't have any power to it. He climbs from the back to the front. He's in the driver's seat right now. It might be hard to tell. He's not trying to, he's not trying to clone keys or anything like that. He's going straight to the driver's seat. He went through to the center console, went ahead, pulled up the neutral strap that's there, puts it in neutral. His buddy comes and they start pushing the car. You see him running over the glass and all that. They do this quick too. Quiet. Don't hear anything, no alarms going off, no nothing. Think they're going over the sidewalk right here. Yes, it's scraping on the sidewalk. And just keep pushing it. Starts rolling back some. Now the video is gonna cut off before they actually push it all the way off of the lot, but they do make off with this car. This car is gone. This is about 3:30 a.m. in the morning when all of this is going down. So there you have it, guys. Dodge Charger Hellcat gone in just a matter of less than a minute, right? Pretty much. I'm pretty sure they knew that car didn't have any power or anything to it, so that's why they was ready to push it away. They didn't even try to, go in and clone another key or anything like that. They usually go in and try to program a key to the car. They went in and just pushed it away, right? One of the questions I know a lot of you guys are gonna ask, why did they ignore the Bentley, two Porsches, the Range Rover? Why did they ignore those more expensive cars that's on the lot versus that Dodge Charger that's sitting there and went directly at that? Well, there's a few reasons why. Number one, typically when these cars are stolen, they're trying to steal them for parts, right? A lot of the parts will work for a lot of the other Dodge Chargers and things like that. So the car is a little bit more common, and those parts are interchangeable with pretty much any Dodge Chargers out there. Number two, these sometimes steal cars to try to resell them as one of those no title, if you know type of things, right? You go on the Facebook Marketplace and see a whole bunch of those, right? It's going to be pretty hard to sell Porsche, a Range Rover, a Bentley with no title, and those cars are pretty rare, right? If you try to sell one of those cars, people are going to know instantly that the car is stolen and whatnot. Now, I'm not saying they won't know the Charger's stolen if you're trying to sell it or whatever, because they sell it for really cheap, but that's going to be a little bit harder to track as that car is more common than a Porsche, right? You're not going to be able to find someone that's going to buy a Porsche with no title for that cheap. That's not going to happen, right? And also on top of that, the Porsches and all that type of stuff, a little bit harder to steal, right? So the owner of this car lot knew that this Hellcat could potentially be a target of theft. That's why they had it blocked in. They had it, I know it's front and center, but they still had it blocked in. Now, why they didn't park it inside? Maybe their office area isn't big enough to put a car inside or what have you. Now, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, right? I want to get to one of the biggest questions here. Taking a battery out the car seems like the smartest thing to do. As you see here, thieves couldn't just get in the car and crank up the car and drive away, right? Also, the car didn't have the computer in there. So that car wasn't going to run regardless. So why was it such a bad thing to not have a battery in this car? Like what are the drawbacks for doing that? Well, there's a couple things here. Number one, it's not practical, right? Taking a battery in and out your car every single time is not something that you want to constantly be doing, right? It just takes so much time and it becomes an inconvenience, right? Number two, I know some of you guys are saying, well, instead of taking the battery in and out, why not just unplug the battery? Okay, cool. The problem with if you just unplugging the battery, and kind of the same thing with the previous thing, if you unplug the battery, it resets everything in your car, your radio, all that type of stuff. Everything just gets reset and you have to set everything all over again. And on top of that, you pretty much got to leave the car. You may have to leave the car unlocked, or actually you got to leave the trunk open or some way to get to the trunk, because if there's no battery in the car, you can't open the trunk to get into the car unless you crawl through the car and release the trunk from inside the car. I'm pretty sure there's no keyhole on the back of the car. I mean, there's no keyhole in the back of the Charger, so you can't even use the key to get in. And I use the key to get into your driver door, but you can't use the key to get into the trunk. So you got to leave the trunk open or leave the seats down, the car in there. So none of that stuff is practical about taking your battery out or leaving it unhooked. Now, another reason here is this, and you see it from this video, that the fact that nothing went off, no alarm, nothing happened. Now, these cars do have pretty crappy factory alarms, but they do go off when things are being tampered with for the most part. If you go in and unlock the car and things like that, they do go off, the horn goes off. A lot of thieves, and I've showed you this in previous video, a lot of thieves are going in and they are unplugging that horn or disabling that horn from the front of the car so that doesn't go off. So while the factory alarm sucks, thieves know they don't want to draw attention to themselves with the horn going on and off and stuff like that, right? They didn't have to worry about that. That's the one step they could skip. They didn't have to go through and sit there and try to turn the horn off because there was no power to the car. Now, granted, it didn't have the computer in there, but the horn will still go off if there's a power source in there. Now, on top of that, now, if you have an aftermarket alarm system in your car, aftermarket alarm systems genuinely need a power source to work. I have not seen an alarm system that doesn't need a power source. You need power from somewhere. Now, unless you have a separate battery or something in the car, that's different, but you need a power source for it to work. And if you don't have a power source in your car, that means your alarm won't work, whether factory or aftermarket. That means you're not notified or anything. That means the thieves aren't bringing attention to themselves. They don't have to worry about an alarm going off. That's like one less thing again for them to have to deal with. I think this video easily goes to show you that even though in theory, pulling the battery, taking the battery out the car, pulling the computer out the car is great in theory, it's not enough to stop a thief from stealing your car. Nonetheless, it doesn't let you know what's going on. Granted, there's security cameras that was running there, but these security cameras looks like didn't alert the owner or whoever owns this this car dealership of what is going on. So how do you stop something like this from happening? There's definitely a few ways of what I would do and what I suggest doing from your car being like what you're seeing in this video, right? They pushed the car away. They didn't use anything fancy, no pro pad, didn't program keys, none of that. They just simply pushed the car away. One thing that could have stopped that from happening is definitely having a neutral strap cover. That is the device that covers up your neutral strap and it stops the car from going into neutral. That right there would have stopped them from pushing away the car. Now, unfortunately, with the neutral strap cover, it doesn't alert you what's going on in the car. You heard at the top of the video of them breaking the window, climbing in the car, and the car moving around and a lot of commotion and stuff going on. The neutral strap cover wouldn't alert you at that point. That is the point where you want to know what's going on. You don't want to wait until, they're in the car and trying to drive it off before they're stopped. You want to know about something going on when it starts, right? And that's where I always say the car lock is a great, inexpensive choice for preventing something of this nature, right? As soon as those thieves would have went to the car and knocked the window out or tried to pull the window out, you would have got an alert for the vibration. Car lock would have gave you an alert for that, let you know, hey, something's going on with the car, you might want to check it out directly to your phone, right? Now, of course, with the car lock here, if they were to try to, let's say you didn't have the neutral strap cover, they try to push the car away, you would got an alert to say, hey, your car is moving. You might want to look into that too. That's 2 alerts right off bat that you would have got with car lock just from this situation alone. Let's assume, they start the car. Now, if they start the car lock will let you know the car gets started, right? Another alert there, that's 3 alerts. If the thieves had enough time after all those alerts to go through the car, try to find your car lock and disconnect it or pull the battery power, you would got alert about the battery being disconnected too. Now, that one's going to rarely happen if they're going to have that much time to go through anything, but like I said, you will still be alerted. Now, after all those alerts, like if you miss all those alerts, one thing you'll still be able to do is be able to GPS track the car. You'll be able to find the car exactly where it is, because car lock not only gives you those alerts, but also gives you GPS tracking as well. Now, thankfully in this situation, they did find the car down the street. These thieves wasn't fully prepared to steal this car as they thought they were. But nonetheless, having a car lock gives you an advantage in those situations to make sure everything, goes in your favor as far as knowing what's going on with your car and how to prevent it. With all that being said, these cars are still going to get stolen, even though they haven't made these cars in almost 3 years at this point. So make sure you protect yourself with car lock. And I want to make sure you guys are getting the best deal on the car lock as possible. If you check the link, you will get a code for 10% off your car lock device, as well as 14-day free trial for the car lock service. So make sure you do that, and also take advantage of some of the other accessories that come with car lock as well that you can get, such as the hard wiring kit, which allows you to plug the car lock directly into power versus plugging it up under your dashboard, which I don't suggest. But if you do want to plug into your dashboard, we do have like wide cables and splitter cables and things like that that allow you to do that, so you can further hide your car lock and all that. The vibration sensors are probably one of the best products that car lock has. It takes those vibrations and you can put these sensors all around your car, and you know exactly where the threat is coming from. You will get an alert for any of those vibrations and which sensor was triggered when that vibration happened. I have a few on my car, and I can know exactly where the vibrations are coming from. That allows me to determine what is going on before I even get there or see my car. So that's gonna be the end of the video, guys. So make sure you get yourself protected by getting the car lock. Thieves are going to try to steal your car in multiple ways possible, so make sure you're prepared from all angles and protected and all that. So like I said, use the link below, get your car lock. If you made it this far in the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We do a lot of car related things on this channel. We talk a lot of cars. We also talk about how to prevent your car from being stolen, right? Make sure your car is always protected, put up, all that type of stuff, and car lock is gonna help you with that. We'll catch you next video. I'm out. Cut it.